If you want to become an extremely self-disciplined and highly effective person, I strongly recommend you watch this video in its entirety. Before discussing the video, let me share a conclusion: everyone who idolizes methodologies for success is foolish. First, let me talk about my work. My job is actually to teach people methodologies and skills, then guide them to solve problems and train video viewers. You must be thinking, as someone who teaches methods and techniques, why am I criticizing methodologies here? That's right, since you asked, I will emphasize again, those who idolize methodologies are fools, and most likely will not accomplish anything. What I want to tell everyone is a very cruel truth. If you still cannot have this realization after hearing this truth today, I'm afraid there is not much fate between you and success. Remember what I said: the two words I put in front of methodology are idolizing. Those who idolize methodologies are destined to fail. Why? Because this is a conclusion I've reached after observing thousands of people. You can think of this as the result of high amounts of practical experience. Carefully observe life. What is the core goal of human verbal expression? For example, when you say goodnight to someone, you are mostly thinking, finally no annoying fool will bother me so I can keep playing on my phone. When you tell others to lie flat, you are secretly working hard in the self-media industry. Carefully observe those self-media people trying to earn money and sell courses. It's likely 8 out of 10 of them are preaching to you the importance of methodologies. Or they will emphasize whatever you recognize or like. If your career is faltering, I'll tell you that you should lie flat and not satisfy societal expectations. If you were injured in school with poor grades, I'll say the school system and education system are problematic and you are actually a genius who was suppressed. In general, when we don't do well and lack abilities without accomplishing anything, we look for excuses. These people are essentially helping you find excuses, and even continuously stimulating your comfort spots to make you feel better and better. Eventually, you become their sheep. Because in the end, they will provide you with a methodology that supposedly resolves your previous predicaments. Let me tell you, those life coaches peddling methodologies that are most important in life, in reality they are overwhelmed by valuable, highly efficient, and highly demanding tasks and correct courses of action. Why do people always speak inconsistently? Because communication is not about conveying truth to the masses, but more about maximizing benefits for the parties involved. Once you understand the operating principles of the self-media industry are to maximize their own benefits by harvesting fans and providing emotional value, rather than maximizing your benefits, you will realize this purpose of maximizing their own interests, not yours. Therefore, inciting hatred and emotional value is the way self-media influencers survive. Why does Teacher Ning want to record this video today? Because I don't want your life to be delayed. The essence of my many videos is not chicken soup, I record truth. After understanding these truths, even if you choose simple, persistent action, I will support you. If you want to learn methodologies and continue simple, steady actions to accomplish things, I will also support you. But I want to condemn those foolish idiots who idolize methodologies, who are incited by emotions and think success is easy after being riled up. The only effect of these fancy philosophies is to lower and destroy your life, including those seemingly cool methodologies. I boldly predict that in 10 years, this kind of addiction to self-discipline, the notion that learning can be as easy as breathing and as addictive as gaming, along with related methodologies and cognitions, in a few years these will all collapse, and whoever mentions them will be embarrassed. I don't know if everyone has noticed a truth: no matter what methods you use, as long as it is something demanding high amounts of energy, you will feel tired, difficult, and reluctant during the process. Also, our brains learn things. No matter what method you use to learn, you forget tomorrow what you learned today. You have to reinforce and repeat the next day, and forget again the day after. No matter what methods you use, your brain is wired this way. Based on this trait, it results in us, no matter what good methods we use to learn something, knowledge, skills, the total workload of this task is huge. Here I propose a theory, see if you can understand it. I call it puzzle theory. People learning and doing things is like having a knowledge puzzle in your brain. Your ability to solve problems is hugely related to the accumulated little pieces of the puzzle in your brain. Your brain cannot rely on temporary thinking or some principles and knowledge points to solve problems. Our cognitive processing ability is related to our constant cycle of learning, forgetting, relearning, and forgetting again. Regardless of methods, it's just you forget less often, remember more firmly, and learn faster. But your brain's nature is this constant cycle of needing to forget and relearn 3 to 5 times before truly mastering something. You might know how to do a problem but still make mistakes due to carelessness, and need extensive practice to avoid easily making mistakes. The total time consumed in this process is substantial. With this realization, you will not put all your energy into just the learning methodology itself. You will know this insurmountable process is extremely lengthy. With this realization, your executive ability and self-discipline will improve. Combined with the brain puzzle theory I just described, let me give an example. If I ask you to name something that is both square and round, you will think of many things. The steering wheel is round, but my question stipulated both square and round, so the steering wheel which is just round does not qualify. Then you search and search your brain but cannot come up with the answer. I tell you instant noodles, because the noodle cake is round but the packaging is square. You'll find that to come up with this answer, you need to retrieve many separate memory chunks from your brain. When your brain already contains these chunks, like noodles, mooncakes, things that are both round and square, it's easy for you to think of the answer and solve problems. Learning and working is the same. Your instant ability to solve a new problem at work is not because you know principles and techniques for problem solving, but because through previous practice and work experience, you already accumulated the relevant knowledge chunks and puzzle pieces. Maybe you see a patient with a certain illness, and you recall 2 similar cases in your mind, then identify the slight difference in this case, and prescribe a modified medicine regimen. You won't think about what principles or techniques to use, you just directly apply the knowledge chunks from your previous experiences. This is how our brains operate. For our brains to accumulate a large amount of these memory chunks as a knowledge puzzle, the more pieces a person's puzzle has, the faster and stronger their ability to instantly solve problems when encountering them. Let me give a technical example. I have a student who needs to memorize a passage called Construction Technology Archives Management Materials. He says he can't convert it into images to remember. So I give him this image: the water pipe in your home's toilet tank has flowing water. He says, "Teacher, how can you convert it into imagery so easily? Is it because you used some methods or principles?" I say the methods and principles I taught you long ago, but it's because my brain already contained 2 memory chunks, water pipes and toilet tanks. Then I just combined these 2 chunks and I was done. I didn't even need to think about any methods. Of course, methods are also very important, but their importance absolutely does not compare to this. Therefore, the higher someone's expectations of methodologies, the more reluctant they are to accumulate all kinds of knowledge chunks. But accumulating these various chunks must go through multiple cycles of gaining them then forgetting. This process of back and forth 3 to 4 rounds is needed for these to accumulate in your brain. And this process is formed through time, executive ability, and self-discipline. There are no shortcuts. When someone does not understand this, they will be addicted to methodologies every day. So they will definitely fail in learning and in various endeavors. This kind of person is not reliable. Let me use an analogy. If your life's success is the journey from point A to destination B, these fancy philosophies and methodologies will cause you to never reach your destination. These pretty cognitions and methodologies are like spiritual hotels, using emotional allure to tempt you to enter and enjoy yourself. They dress themselves up attractively to seduce you and say whatever you like to hear: that you've succeeded, you've made a comeback against the odds. This results in you swaggering around in these small hotels. But in the end, you'll find many of these shops are likely scams. Let me tell you, anyone who encourages that accomplishing something is easy and simple, as easy as self-discipline or as addictive as gaming, almost without exception, they are all of this kind. After swaggering around in their small hotels, they either trap you inside forever, mental and cognitive imprisonment, where they make you believe in a utopian fantasy. Why did I record so many things with a bit of temper previously? Because some people dared to let others believe self-discipline can be easy and happy. Self-discipline is against human nature. How could it possibly be easy and happy? It's like someone continuously taking on challenges. How could that be happy? Once you believe in these pleasing, captivating methodologies and philosophies, you will fall into a trap where the reality does not match what they peddle to you. When there is a mismatch, some foolish people will not doubt and think maybe they were fed poisonous chicken soup. They will think it is their own problem. I saw a funny kid previously. Someone told him Feynman's learning method could bring him from the bottom of the class to top of the grade and into a top university. But when he used Feynman's method, the results were not that great. He still forgot what he should remember and could not grasp what he should. He still had to find others every day to teach something, and no one cared. If he was that amazing, why would he need to boast so much? If one really does not want pain, there are many, many painful processes, like what I saw previously from a self-media influencer called Dream Come True. He said he had 30 classmates who got into Harvard, and each person grinded 7,000 hours of problems every year without breaks, 10 hours every day. When people tell you the truth, do you believe it? Let me first tell everyone, do you think those 30 Harvard students don't understand methodologies? Of course they do. The total workload required to accomplish something is constant. If you understand some methodologies that allow easy, effortless success, I don't think that's possible. I practiced writing and endured 5 years of tremendous physical and mental labor. It was truly bitter. Human nature's weakness is avoiding the most difficult parts of something. So from the moment I decided to write, I was very clear. Those touting writing frameworks and systematically learning writing techniques, basically all who practiced writing alongside me at the time eventually gave up. Because they avoided writing's most difficult parts, persistently writing every day whether you like it or not. I persisted for 5 years. Frankly, those I outlasted, who did not want to practice writing with me, the reason was they were too smart. I think that kind of intelligence is shallow cunning. They saw a bit of no results, then promptly cut their losses. I heard you leveled up from 1 to 60 in World of Warcraft. You may have faster methods to gain experience and level up, but your total experience required is constant, and the total workload is still substantial. Idolizing methodologies and cognitions, making split-second superhuman decisions, the greatest side effect is producing illusions. I said earlier that executive ability is the capability closest to money. No matter how amazing the cognitions or methodologies, without long-term execution in the process of doing things and accumulating experience, the total workload basically never disappears. So indulging in those illusions, if accomplishing something is a marathon, there are few who come from behind to overtake. Let me use learning as an example, because our brains have a trait where we forget what we learn, and have to relearn it. Going through multiple cycles of relearning, no matter how good the methods you use, you just remember more firmly and learn faster, but your brain's trait leads you to continually forget what you learned. Thus, the total required time is always substantial. Based on understanding the tremendous time and energy costs to accomplish something, the first task should be diligence. In the process of being diligent, you can then experience the efficacy of different ways and methods of doing things. More important than methods is a person's mental strength. A car without oil cannot reach its destination even with an excellent motor. Through this video, I want to tell everyone you must learn to think problems through in reverse. For example, when you see self-media people peddling methodologies, magical learning methods, addictive self-discipline as easy as breathing, learning as addictive as gaming, you need to reverse think, are they doing this for your benefit, or to maximize emotional value and profits by turning you into their traffic? And you should think through what is the path to accomplish something, what is the cost, rather than just having people paint a rosy picture right before your eyes as if you've already succeeded. Painting rosy pictures is always easy, but the actual workload is definitely tremendous. So people like Arnold Schwarzenegger are truly smart. I want to become a bodybuilding champion, so I will understand how much total workload the previous champion put in, then figure out how to surpass them under that workload premise. And you can research better training methods, But first understand what the total workload is. If you don't understand that, you cannot be self-disciplined long-term. When you can learn to reverse think problems, many complex issues actually have simple answers. Like the many people online talking about self-discipline, the essence of self-discipline is simple but difficult to execute, because self-discipline's nature is persisting, continuously taking on challenges. Like when I get up in the morning, I have to abandon the comfort of lying in bed, browsing news, watching cute girls dance, and sit here making videos for you all, which generates pessimistic thoughts like no one will watch, no one will like them, so I have to take on difficulties, persist even if no one watches, maybe the results will be good, and stubbornly move forward little by little. Some may say I'm forcing myself, because I don't like my work, so I feel this way. But I can tell everyone all things in life, things you like or don't like, will become painful to a certain degree. I've expressed this objective point many times before. It's simple and objective. Why don't people want to accept it? Because it doesn't match your imagined expectations. In your imagination, as long as you like what you do, you won't feel pain in life. If you like washing cars, you won't feel pain. If you like studying, you won't feel pain. But if you interview 100 students in a classroom, 99 will say doing 100 problems a day is painfully exhausting. Most high-energy things will not be particularly easy or happy. They require the person to have an anti-natural willpower and sense of responsibility to grit their teeth and push through.